Do you struggle in getting everything done? Are you the type of woman who, at the end of the day, has a laundry list a mile deep? Well, if so, you're like many of us. Today, we're going to be meeting with a virtual assisting guru. This woman owns a company that delivers virtual assisting support specifically towards professional women. She is going to talk with you about why you need to delegate. She's going to take the guesswork out of how you get started. And she's going to remind you that when you free up your time, you free up your life. So stay tuned. I'm Clara Capano, and this is Women Winning Their Way. Well, Maureen, welcome to the show. It is so good. You and I have been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm just so excited to be able to have time with you today.
Yes, we definitely have 2 busy women winning their way, of course, right? So, yeah, I am so
Exactly.
glad to be here and on with you, Clara.
I am so excited to dive into our conversation because there's lots of things I really want to talk specifically with you about. Because when we have this whole title of Women Winning Their Way, you really have created an entire business to help. But before we get to that, I want to just ask you when I kind of say, let's win on our terms, let's create
Mhm.
success on our terms. What does that mean to you as a woman?
Oh gosh, it means so much to me. I mean, I've created my whole business my way. You we're taught when we grow up, especially I think in the you know, when we were growing up, we were taught, this is what you do. You go to college, you do this is what you're supposed to do to be successful. And I think a lot of women are told what they're supposed to do to be successful. And I didn't want that. And I had a whole nother way that I wanted to be successful. But it is hard to go your own way and say, no, this is what I'm going to do. And this is what success means to me. So
Yeah.
I think success is defined by you, and you have to own that.
Yeah. Now I'm just curious because I know when I would share my goals and,
Mhm.
kind of do all the things that I do, there's a big group of people that think I'm a little bit crazy and they're like, we don't understand it. And they almost take it as I'm trying to fulfill an emptiness rather than
Mhm.
where I'm sitting from, which is it's no, I want to deliver impact. Have you
Mhm.
faced that where people try to pull you back and try to rein you back in and kind of think you're crazy for wanting to do some of the things you want to do?
Oh, definitely. Sometimes I look back and think I was crazy myself. I mean, some of the things we say to ourselves, you think, wow, this sounds crazy. And that was early on in the beginning. But yeah, a lot of people do. And I think it's because they don't maybe they don't believe in themselves, or maybe
Mhm.
they've never had somebody believe in them, and understand what it is possible. I have this motto. It's, dream big, have faith, and take action. That is the motto in my
Mhm.
life and in my business.
Yeah.
And that's what I stand by. If you can dream it, you can make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that. And I'm going through this with my son, who's struggling a little bit in his first year of college. And part of
Mhm.
him is like, I guess I should just continue on. And I'm like, why? And he's like,
Mhm.
well, that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm like,
Right.
no, it may not be. For
Right.
some people it is, but it doesn't have to be. And
Right.
trying to get him to understand the freedom of, what, now is the time. You are only 19.
Right.
Now is the time, if ever there's a time to try to, go after your dreams. Now's the time. You know,
Absolutely.
the problem I think we face sometimes, well, I'm not going to say problems because I believe everything happens for a reason. You know,
Mhm.
we have these things called setbacks. And when
Right.
we're trying to recreate something on our own, we're trying to forge forward on this path, there's
Mhm.
going to be setbacks. And
Right.
sometimes that can push us backwards. Sometimes we can use that as fuel to go forward, even though we have to hit the pause button. Can you think about a time in your life and on your entrepreneurial journey where you had some setbacks and how did you turn that around for yourself?
Well, I literally started my business, when my daughter was in a brain cancer journey.
Mm.
And people thought I was absolutely crazy. I think a lot of times when people say, I'm going to start a business, people think that's crazy. Why would you want to do that? Why can't just go get a real job?
Exactly. Just be
If
happy
I,
having that paycheck coming in.
right, just go get a paycheck, get a real job. But my family was deep in the throes of, we had just been through 2 years of cancer and radiation treatment for an 11-year-old moving out of state. And we were still traveling, 3 hours a day for 8-hour physical therapy treatments, just to name a few things we were doing. But, I had to go back to work, and I said, I'm going to start a business because I have to do this. This is what I have to do for our family. I need the flexibility. And so, I created a business that lived for me and our family and our lifestyle. And so I could have used that as an excuse to wallow in my self-pity that I can't do this now because,
Mhm.
I'm going through this. And I use setbacks the total opposite way that a lot of people do. I use them. People say, oh, this is happening. Maybe I shouldn't do this. But I look at it as this is why I should do it.
Mhm.
And so I just use them to push me forward and work harder. So,
Yeah.
and that's, what I love to help other women do now.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on here is because this whole show is about, again, kicking down the door to standards and carving out and creating your own path to success.
mhm,
As we do that, we also need help.
mhm,
Nobody can achieve their goals on their own. And
right.
as you start to run a business, or if you are a manager, leader, wherever you are, this concept of delegating comes up. And I think,
Yeah.
especially women, I know I have struggled with it. So many of the people that I've worked with one on one and when I'm speaking, I hear it all the time.
Mhm.
Things such as, I can do it easier myself. Nobody
Right.
can do it as good as me. I don't know
Mhm.
where to start. As women, we fight this battle
Mm.
of delegation.
Mhm.
You actually have created a company of
Mhm.
virtual assistants, but specifically designed to help
Mhm.
working women and even
Yeah.
deeper working moms. So tell me a little bit first about why. What was the emphasis and what was really the catalyst outside of, having the flexibility so you could be there to care for your daughter? What
Yeah.
was the passion and the, behind this specific niche?
Yeah. I mean, I knew that I wanted to help other moms do what I was doing. I knew there was a want of other moms to be able to be more present in their lives with their families, for themselves, for their kids, but be able to, maybe they had the dream of being an entrepreneur. Maybe they wanted to have a in the household, bring in a financial piece of, the household. And so I wanted to be able to give them something to where they didn't have to choose. The first thing when a woman gets pregnant is, "Oh, are you going to stay home or are you going to work?"
Yeah,
"No,
nobody
I'm
ever
going
asked
to."
the dad that, huh?
Right, right. No, I'm gonna do both, and I'm gonna do both amazing. I don't have to choose, right? And I'm gonna be present in both. And so, that's really what I did in my business, how I created my business. And I knew it was possible for me. I started creating systems in my business, automations, setting up, CRMs and automations, and then bringing people into my business, delegating. And I scaled my business to well over 6 figures very fast in this chaotic life that I was living, and I wanted to help other moms be able to do the same.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they were going through what I was going through, but even as a mom, we know, we're doing carpool drop off and we're doing soccer and, we're just, doing all the things. We look like an octopus with 8 arms going in, 20 different directions all day long. much less trying to run a business on top of that. And so I knew it was possible because I had done it. So I wanted to help other moms do the same.
Yeah,
Just because we want to be present with our kids doesn't mean we have to give up on our other dreams.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
when I had done it and I had done it successfully, I wanted to say, here, let me help you do it too.
Mhm. So let's
Mhm.
debunk some of these myths. So let's
Yeah.
start with the first one. Nobody can do it as good as me. What do you say
Yeah.
to the women who say that?
Well, it's hard. Our business is our baby. I get it. I did it. So I've been there and I still do it. Even to this day, I still continue to scale my business. Even today, you can ask one of my best business colleagues. I said, but it was something new, I said, but I could just do it faster myself. I get it.
Mhm.
So, once you do it, you have somebody on your team that's proactive, that's actually a team member and can come alongside of you. You get this bond with that person, and it becomes so much easier.
Mhm.
There's so many different levels of support, and once you get somebody that you trust, and it's like, hey, I get you, I've been there, let me help you with this process, and it's not just like, hey, yeah, just send some tasks my way, I'll handle it. I think it's all about a bond and a trust.
Yeah.
um it can be a beautiful relationship.
It can. I always
Yeah.
try to bring people into, an analogy of thinking about an operating room. You have
Mhm.
the surgeon in there. Now, the surgeon
Yeah,
has gone through 8, 16 years of schooling. They know how to
exactly.
open and close, but they don't. They delegate that out. It's not that they
Right.
can't do it. It's just a matter of if you're going to really do more of what you want to do, you have to
Exactly.
be able to let people in the operating room
Right.
with you. And,
Exactly.
these items of, automation that you brought up.
Mhm.
Automation is delegation. Do creating
Mhm.
a system to make it easier. And,
Right.
things such as we delegate sometimes in the bathroom in the morning. We put our shampoo, we put our toothbrush out.
Right.
We have them in certain places to
Right.
automate it and to make it easy. That's
Mhm.
delegation. So again, it's not a matter of trying to discount what you're doing. Again,
Right.
it's about changing your mindset. Also, from a productivity standpoint, all those little things, I could just do it faster myself. Yeah. But
Mhm.
that's 5 minutes here, that's 5 minutes there. Most
Right.
of the time, it adds up to almost an hour a day. Well, what if you
Right.
put that hour back in to
Right.
generating business or to doing other things? So I think looking at
Right.
those. Let's talk a little bit about costs because I hear this a lot.
Mhm.
I don't even know where to start. I can't hire a full time assistant.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and you know what? What take a look at your hourly rate and
Mhm.
what you're doing. You're doing these repetitive tasks over and over again. Are you really scaling your business? Are you in your zone of genius where you need to be to actually grow, scale your business, working with your clients? Or are you sending out emails over and over again and doing your scheduling, types of things? And so take a look at your hourly rate that you're going to be charging your clients and what you're going to be paying that virtual assistant to be doing those admin tasks for you. And
Mhm.
so think about it. Is your hourly rate $250? Are you paying a virtual assistant $250 to do those tasks for you? So when you start adding up your hourly rate for those tasks that you're doing that you could be paying those people, that's kind of how I look at
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, it's so true. And again, you think about if you were in, that quote unquote real job and you were
right,
a CEO, you
right,
would have an assistant, you would have several assistants. Because I hear people all
exactly.
the time too say things such as, well, my clients want to work with me. Well, they do on the high end, like the high
Exactly.
level stuff. They don't necessarily need you to push the
Right,
papers and to do those. They want the
right.
real connection. And if you're so busy doing all these other tasks, and I'm not
Mhm.
diminishing them, they're important
Oh,
tasks. And
definitely,
I'm not
yeah,
diminishing anyone that does those. It's just a matter of going back to what is your job description and doing
exactly.
those. Um,
Right.
I would love to hear, from a personal perspective for you, but also with some of the people that you work with.
Mhm.
When you see them start to step into this realm, what are some of the positive benefits that they're seeing?
Well, I mean, I hear so many positives, and it's just why I do what I do. When, I hear my clients that have actually gotten to take a vacation in 10 years.
Mhm.
They've taken their first 2-week vacation and they haven't taken their computer with them, because we're at home base, we have those tasks handled. And so they can go and they can be present on their vacation and not, I hear so many people that are, yes, I take a vacation, but I also take my computer and my phone with me. And I'm not fully present with my family, so when they're able to take that 2-week vacation and not be attached to some type of electronic device, that's amazing. Recently I had a new client, and what I hear a lot is I don't know how to work with the virtual assistant. And so
Yeah.
he said, "Can you give me some tips?" And so when I gave, I said, "Yeah, that's a great idea. A tip sheet on how to work with your virtual assistant." And so when I gave that to him, he's like, "Oh, wow, like I could really ask her for this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, definitely you can ask her for this." And he's like, "This is great." And a task that he had been struggling with for years, that we put into a new CRM for him and we're running reports for him. He was like, wow. He's one of 150 contractors with this uh, business. And he was like, I will be telling every one of them what you did for me. And so just, a lot of these things that we come on board with these clients is really life changing.
Mhm.
You don't think, when you think about a virtual assistant, you don't think that, but it really is. What we give them back can be life changing.
Absolutely.
And, I don't mean to sound, I don't mean to sound like that, but,
Well, you give
some
them
of the
back
things,
time, and
yeah,
that's the most precious commodity. You
it
give
is.
them time to invest in areas that are going to bring them joy in business, but also
Right,
time to invest back in living their life. And
right.
I don't think we can underestimate, the
Mhm.
power and the beauty of
Yeah,
that,
right.
in working with that. And I love how this last example was with a man, again,
Yeah. Oh,
even though
yeah,
we're talking about women
definitely.
winning their way, men struggle with these things too. I would love to ask you about a little bit about leadership because,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. But I also think that leadership, we're all leaders,
Mhm,
starts with ourselves and leading ourselves.
mhm.
What are some ways that, you have found, that for you, when we talk about leading yourself, what does that mean to you? And how do you be a good leader for yourself so that you can also be a good leader for your team?
Yeah, I really think, just, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself. I'm such a giver. And so I've really been working on giving to myself.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right. I feel like am so used to giving so much of myself away. And so I really have been working on, well, what do I need? And so what does that look like for myself?
Mhm.
We all talk about self-care, and it may be self-care, but it could be other things too. And, the thing that I just, would say that I love most about being a leader is just, I love my team. They're like my family. And so I feel like I get a lot back from that.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I feel like I just have to make sure that I take care of myself.
Mhm.
And, if I'm in a position where, if I'm not taking care of myself and giving to myself, I can't be a good leader.
Absolutely.
I could
So
fake it.
yeah, well,
That's
exactly. So right now I'm really sort of on this mission right now with leaders, and I would love to get your thought on this. I haven't asked anybody else this question yet. I am finding, I mean, we are dealing so much with this level of burnout right now. With
Mhm.
shifts in the economy,
Right.
remote working, all of these things. And a trend that I'm seeing is leaders of organizations are answering the call of how are we going to make more money
Mm.
by driving their team harder, by pushing
Mhm.
them harder, setting higher expectations for them, demanding more from them.
Mhm.
I actually see it the opposite. For
Mm.
me, I believe that the best way to build the bottom line is by building your people.
Mm,
Because
mhm,
when you build your people and you support your people, I truly believe that employees want to be a part of something.
mhm,
And when they feel valued, when they feel a part of something, they perform better and will give more. And I would
mhm,
love to just get, what are your thoughts on that? When you look at being a leader yourself and
mhm.
how you lead your team.
I fully agree with that. I do not like that, like, let's work harder, let's make more money. That is not my mindset or a value of mine at all. My team, I totally am all about, something that I ask them regularly is, do you like what you're doing?
Mhm.
Recently I added a whole nother part of my business. We created an all-in-one business ecosystem, a CRM that we have added on.
Amazing.
And I had she was my personal assistant, but she's been with me for so long that I thought she would be great at being the lead development person on this, but I wasn't sure that's what she wanted to do. So we had a honest conversation.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to lose my assistant,
Mm.
but I said, "Is was this be something that you would wanna do?" And so I want them to be in their lane
Yeah. Yeah, you want them to
always.
feel fulfilled in what they do, and if
Exactly.
that means that they leave you, again, it's like
Yeah,
kicking the baby bird out of the nest.
I
Good
know.
leaders should cultivate their people to be great and to go after their
Right.
dreams too.
And that's what I want, and I want them all to feel that way, and I want them to grow and learn
Mhm.
and always feel respected and so yeah, that's how I feel about my team and other women. We talk a lot about our core values
Mhm.
and things like that. And so yeah, I definitely have um yeah, a different mindset about that than the first part of what you
Right.
spoke about.
And one of the things that I love so much about what you're doing is, you are empowering other women.
Right.
You actually have a program that teaches others to
Mhm.
build a virtual assisting company.
Right.
And I think, what a mind shift, because so many
Mhm.
people would say, "Oh no, I don't want to give my secrets away because that could be business out of my pocket." But
Right.
you're coming from that abundance mindset.
Mhm.
You only have so much bandwidth, and you want
Right.
to pass the gift that was given to you on to
Right.
other women. And I just want to
Mhm.
recognize you, because I think
Mhm.
so many people, fear
Right.
giving other people, the
Mhm.
reins, because, oh,
Yeah.
they might outshine me. They might become more
Mhm.
successful. And I do think that a good leader
Mhm.
doesn't see that. They have that
Right.
abundance mindset.
Right, yeah. No, I love to mentor other women. I go to these networking events and someone said, "There's another virtual assistant at the table." And I was like, "I know, she's amazing. We talk all the time. I'm helping her grow her business."
Mhm.
I just want other women to be successful and make their dreams come true and help them do it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what has been the greatest gift that creating your business has given you?
I see it. I don't know if it's given me, but I see that my daughters who are 17 and 22,
Mhm.
I see that they see what I have done and that they understand that they can make their dreams come true.
Yeah.
And that just, makes my heart just, melt because, that's what I want for them. I want them to know that whatever that, dreams that they want, they can become a reality for them.
That's so great. And we're
Yeah.
going to have all your information in the show notes, so that if people want to hire you, learn more about what you're doing, maybe even, want to talk with you about
Mhm.
starting this for themselves. So we'll put
Yeah.
all your information in the show notes. I would love to close this out by asking you, sitting where you are today,
Mhm.
going through your journey,
Mhm.
how do you define success for yourself now?
Success for me is, you know, do being able to do what I love
Mhm.
on my terms
Yeah.
with my family. Just there it's so hard for me to put it into words.
Yeah.
It really is. But, the fact that I am where I am today because I took the first steps.
Mhm.
I think brave being, that I was brave enough
Mhm.
to do it initially is success for me.
Yeah.
Steps that I stepped out regardless of what other people said I couldn't do,
Yeah,
you know?
fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
Maureen, thank you so much for being here. I love
Oh,
what you're
thank
doing.
you.
I want to promote you because I think again you're giving so many people just the gift of life by
Oh,
being able
thanks,
to
Clara.
help them get the support they need so that they can grow and do more of what they love. So I
Mm.
really thank you so much, and I'm glad you and I have gotten to know each other over
Yes, thank
time, and I
you.
look forward to collaborating more with you.
Yes, thank you so much, Clara. I appreciate your time and having me on as always.
You bet. Well, all right, everyone. I hope that you took notes, and you can probably tell why I wanted to have Maureen on here because when I talk about women creating success on their terms, she is someone that needs to be the backbone of your business to help you do that. You need to make sure that you're having people in your circle, not just those mentors to learn from, but people that are going to help you set up your workflows, people that are going to help you set up your automation, people that are going to help you to free up your time so you can do more of what you love. So, some of the notes that I jotted down is again, when you're thinking about going out there and creating your own path, people are going to think you're crazy. You're not crazy. You're just maybe an entrepreneur. You just have that different spirit. So, don't let anyone try to think you're crazy. When the setbacks come, face them, but use them as leverage, use them as a way to have you dig deep. She ended this conversation by talking about bravery. Let those setbacks bring out that courage and that bravery inside of you. And one of the most beautiful things that she talked about is this mindset of abundance. Connect with others, support others, even if they're doing the exact same thing as you. There is enough in this world, and we are all stronger when we support each other. And you never know when you might need that person to open doors for you, to collaborate with you. You just never know. So if you see someone doing the same thing, there is room at the table. We can make the table even bigger. So, thank you so much for being a part of this episode. If you found value in this, please make sure that you are sharing it with others. Connect with me, connect with Maureen. Please make sure that you go to the platforms and like, rate, review, and make sure that we're sharing these messages of abundance, greatness, bravery. And remember, this is women winning their way, and you can get out there and create success all in your terms. I'm Clara Capano, and I'll see you next time.